Hi, it's Bob from HeCooksForMe.com. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're putting together an apple bread pudding. It's one that we traditionally do as our dessert for Christmas dinner, and you have to make it ahead of time. It needs to sit up in the fridge overnight or at least several hours. So the first step, we took a Granny Smith apple and cut it up just into small, probably pea-size pieces after peeling it. So there is no peel on it. And this is 2 tablespoons of sugar. So we're just going to mix these two together and let that sugar get into these apples, sweeten them up, and work with the juice on them. Then we'll set that aside for a little while and go on to our next step. Now that the apples are mixed up, we're going to rip up some croissants. These are Costco's croissants. We like them because you can get them as a dozen. We throw 3 in the freezer for sandwiches or something later on. And they're just really tasty. We're going to just rip these up into bite-sized chunks and throw them in a bowl. So our croissants did what this recipe won't help you do, and that's get ripped. But anyway, the 9 croissants in the bowl here, just ripped up bite-sized pieces. We're going to mix that up with our Granny Smith apple that's been soaking in sugar. And then this is a half a cup of Golden Raisins and 5 cups of milk. And we're just going to pour all this together, mix it all up really good, and then cover it, and it goes in the fridge. We like to do it overnight, and just so that all of this can really marry together. We'll stir it a time or two and just have it ready to be baked tomorrow. So our next step on the bread pudding is to take 3 eggs, and we're just going to mix these just like you were doing scrambled eggs. But then we're going to put in a tablespoon of vanilla and a cup of sugar and make a custard. So you can see how all that mixed together makes a pretty thick paste that's going to go right in over the top of our bread pudding. So we took our bread croissant mixture that's been in the fridge overnight, put in that the custard that we just made, and we mix it all up really well. And then we're going to put it into a 9 by 13 glass casserole dish. And that dish we rubbed with a stick of butter, so it has a layer of butter over the entire inside of the dish to help keep it from sticking as we pull it out. And we're just going to pour this in to make an even layer. And a mess on the counter. So now that we've got it in that dish, this is going to cook at 350 for an hour. And then when we're ready to serve it, we have a whiskey sauce that I'll show you next that goes over the top. To make the whiskey sauce, we're going to take 1 egg and just start beating on it. We don't actually cook this, so this is 6 tablespoons of melted butter, and you want to be using the melted butter while it's still pretty hot, because that's actually what cooks your egg. And then you're just going to slowly add the melted butter into that egg so it has a chance to just warm it all the way through. And you would just keep whisking the whole time. So now that I have the egg and the butter all mixed together really well, this is 2 tablespoons of whiskey. We're just using Jim Beam tonight. That's what we happen to have in the bar, and it's a decent bourbon, and it'll taste really good in this. And then we have a full cup of powdered sugar that I'm going to mix in. You can make this and it'll last in your fridge for 2 to 3 days even, but we like to make it still the night that we are doing serving the pudding, because that way you have 2 to 3 days for leftovers if you end up with leftovers. So this powdered sugar we're just going to keep whisking in until it's all blended in, and then this will be ready to go on top of the bread pudding as it comes out of the oven. So this is what your whiskey sauce looks like when you're done. You want to make sure that there's no chunks of that powdered sugar left in there. It's just a smooth sauce. The bread pudding just came out of the oven. We're going to slice it into pieces and then drizzle our whiskey sauce over the top. I'll show you a finished product. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and consider hitting that red subscribe button. It really helps if you can share my videos with friends and family that might be interested, or watch some of the other videos on my channel. I hope this dish, or one of my other featured dishes, finds its way into your kitchen soon.